Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Faith Life Love with Bologi Steven, and I am here with my friend, my sister, Oluseyi Adolphus. Guys, is that name? Is it a Nigeria like Adolphus?
Yes.
So it's like from
Nigerian, yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, I've always looked at the name. This name very tush to have. Oh, like Raymond Adolphus, guys. It doesn't get any more bushy than that. Let me tell you people before we go into this. Let me tell you how I met Seyi. It's a journey. Like in this life, God tell me and Seyi, we must know ourselves.
Yes.
So there was a time I was shopping for church. Because I didn't leave my church. My mother said I should not leave my church. I don't want to leave my church again in case my pastor or my elder is watching it. I love my church now. But I was looking for a church, right? So I used to go to different churches. So one day my friend and I went to see a movie. We now had one night like worship songs. I was just making sense. That's how I forgot movie. We entered church. And you know that period that you're just hungry to grow, and it's not like we're not hungry now, but you know, we understand.
I guess.
So we just entered Shining Light Kingdom Builders.
Yeah.
And then I liked the atmosphere, I liked it. So I used to come for their weekly services. And I just noticed one firebrand woman. She used to take prayer every week in the church. She used to pray. I just noticed her. And then I never spoke to her. We never spoke. And then we had a course, I think this was like 2018. No, 2017. Public speaking certification course with Jimmy Tewe. And then I went and I saw her and I'm like, this face is familiar. And then we're like, we now knew that we knew ourselves. Then after that, I now got added to one WhatsApp group that's very dear to my heart. And when I entered there, I just saw Seyi again. And I think that's how we became closer.
Yeah.
So all the other times it was just like, hello, hi.
No, I think we had met before because I felt like Twists and Turns came out before I joined the group. So you had been doing a lot of Twists and Turns evangelism.
Yes.
So. I can't even remember.
So what made
we were chatting one night like that. I can't remember what you were doing. So I think we got talking about books.
Yeah, because I think we already had a rapport.
To check the book, and then I sent you a copy. I think I came to your office.
Yeah.
And then
yes, because we had a rapport before many.
And then you went all on Facebook, Instagram, and then you wrote one big piece. I'm like, hey.
I love her book, guys. We're going to talk about it. Like that book, it's very practical and it's my style. I think like when you meet somebody that is relatable to you, you just connect with the person. As you can see, like we have not even entered our topic. But anyways, this is Seyi, my sister, my friend. Guys, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing about Seyi, then we'll really get into this. So when I was getting married, how was the version? I think let's leave the crux of that gist maybe for another video. I'll just put that one. But that is how I think it was after the marriage that I was like, that's how she sent me.
It was
13 minutes. Was it before?
I was just like, hey, this girl.
Okay, it was before. Yeah.
And then I chatted you. You were forming. Let me know.
So 30 minutes voice note, guys. She was giving me breakdown on the low. If you don't have friends like that, you need them.
And then I'm coding now. You're not feeling like,
no, you know that you used to try and spoil me. But me, I'm a good girl. I don't say all these kind of
I'm
things.
I'm a good girl.
But if I tell you what she used to do on social media, let's get into the that Christmas day I've been coconut. Please, let's get into the crux of this.
And I now said that your husband likes
God, Seyi.
Something about
Don't sorry. If not, we're here for 1 hour. Okay, so this is Seyi. I'm just going to ask you very quickly to introduce yourself.
Okay.
What you want us to know about you.
Alright, I'm Oluseyi Adolphus. I'm a private tutor. Just like you have private physicians.
The best.
Like private doctors, private nurses. I'm a private tutor. And then, what else? I love writing. I'm an author. Second book in the making.
Yeah. Amen.
And then what else? I'm also into ministry, and I would not want to polarize myself to say, oh, it's a prayer ministry. I like praying. I love praying. But then I'll just be like, I'm into ministry. I compare events, I do a lot of things. But basically, everything I do revolves around teaching, speaking, and writing.
Also,
and I'm a wonderful mom to 2 beautiful boys. I like to emphasize beautiful. People feel like, she's making mouth. But when you see them, you're like, okay, yeah. It's not actually mouth. And I am also married to a very handsome, godly husband.
Yeah, she downplayed this her private tutor. She's not just a private tutor. She has a private tutoring company, firm, and they have a network of teachers and all of that.
We do online, offline, abroad, inboard. Yes. We have students out of the country. No, like, I'm not kidding.
No, like, she's not kidding. She's big like that. So please, guys, thank you and welcome Seyi to the channel. Okay, so our topic for today is life interrupted, and we're going to be having it in 2 parts so that we don't make the video too lengthy. But guys, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to learn from it. So Seyi, basically, I read your book. This is her book, guys, Twists and Turns. So I used to call her Seyi Twists and Turns. It's really, really amazing. It's an amazing book, very easy style to read, and I'll put her email address in the description so that you can reach out to her, or if you whatever you need, if you need the book or whatever it is. So okay, what made you write this book?
Okay, I think like at some point I knew I was going to write.
Okay.
I think like Joseph, I think when I was in 100 level, long story short, I was just reading about Joseph, that was when the purpose message was flying all over. So we started sitting down, this girl, what is my purpose in this life? So I started praying, and I realized that Joseph, those little guys, they kind of knew their purpose, even though it was sketchy. So I came up with something I called my epitaph. I can't even remember the meaning again. But I knew that at that time, epitaph meant something like what you would like people to read on your grave.
Okay.
Like she was this. So I started with that, and then I was able to come up with, I think I have my core giftings. I dance and do a lot of other things. So I highlighted like 5 of my core giftings: speaking, teaching, writing, dancing, and helps. I like helping people, like outreaches, charities, and all that. So every vision I came up with was around this 5. So at some point, I knew I was going to write. Back in the uni, I had a lot of manuscript that did not see the light of the day. Little foxes, mighty feathers, eating. But anyway, so when I got,
that's a nice title.
I'm telling you, I can't remember the concept of the thing, but I shall know that it's about humility. That we should be humbling our foxes, mighty feathers.
Guys,
drama, no
guys. God.
Sorry.
In case you see people that have the title of my name.
It's copyright. Copyright. Like, I just sat down. I never seen the title anywhere. Like, the concept of it is little things that spoil stuff, and then the things that take us higher, they are very little as well, as light as a feather. It's a feather, but then it's mighty, something like that. So anyway, so when I got married, I started blogging, like, this blog and all that. So I just felt like there was something I could share. I'd always been very enthused about relationships. So every week, every Monday, I always put out a blog post. I started vlogging, but vlogging gave me to pregnancy, and so I couldn't keep up. And then the pregnancy was symptomatic, where there was signs, and so I couldn't keep up. So I started just journaling all the things that I would have loved to share. So I journaled. So eventually, when I had my baby, or when we had our baby, I just looked at the book like, this is a whole book. Instead of trying to now wait for every Monday, can you just put it together? So it came out because the series started as Diary of a Newlywed. So I just felt like this story is actually halfway. Can you back up? So it was in the process of backing up, Twists and Turns came out. So we realized that we couldn't call it Diary of a Newlywed. We would have polarized it to weddings and all that again. So if you pick Twists and Turns, you readily would not be able to tell that was how twist and turns came.
Wow. I think I've heard some parts of that. And I love this book because I think when I read it, I wasn't married yet. So it was like I was following her life from, okay, places I've passed, like secondary school and all of that, just following. Then you get to where you are in life, like in a relationship, about to be married. Then you get to where you've not gotten to yet, like, oh, marriage. Then you talk about her pregnancy. And it's just really an amazing book. But the title is very related to what we're talking about, twists and turns. Like, there will be twists and turns in life.
Yeah.
Life happens. I think I've heard this quote, I don't know who it's from. Life is what happens when you're busy making plans, right? So you're planning, oh, this is how my life will be, this is what I want to do, this is this, and then life happens. And I guess that's also part of it in twists and turns. I remember one or two examples, but basically, can you just share with us one or two instances of life happening to you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this part I'm about to share, usually when I talk about it back then, I still used to feel a lot of pain. So I was going to study medicine. I was qualified, the cutoff was good, everything was fine, I wrote JAMB during those years where you don't use a calculator. Like, if you score 250.
Do they use calculator now?
Yes, some form of electronic stuff. Like, we calculated those physics, chemistry equations in your head. And so I had a very good score. And before that, I had an antecedent. Is it antecedent now? I had an antecedent of awards, best mathematics student in my state, best female math. So I didn't think that, well, in a sane environment, ordinarily you should just enter school. So, but then, our dear country. So I didn't get the medicine. I wrote JAM twice. I wrote the first time, I passed, which is not what usually would happen. My dad just said, oh yeah, now you have the experience, go and study again. So I studied again and I passed again, like a lot better now. And then we didn't get the admission. The admission was tough. Eventually, they gave me microbiology. So I was just like, in the first instance, I was offered, I think, botany or biochemistry. I said, no, let me read again. And, now it's microbiology. So I entered, I was like, okay, yeah, I will cross. Not even getting the admission into medicine in the first place didn't pay me as much as the second time where I'd attempted. So the second time we wrote transfer exams, you had to add some 3.5 GPA and above. And I think at that point I was on 4.3.
Wow.
Like, it's a no-brainer. With my destiny, no, she should enter. So they said we're going to write exams. We wrote the exams. The cutoff was 30. I had 36.5.
Wow.
So with those scores, you were not supposed to think you won't get it. My sister. Pace list, though, they did not pace list. But since they already said that the cutoff was 30, and I had 36.5, some of my friends just felt that since we already passed, and we already receiving lectures in, how campuses are. The medical school is different from the main school. So we're like, we're losing. Names is not out and this and that. So we just went like, they said they'll pay the list next week. And then they were gradually pasting names of people. We saw the scores of the people. So we just felt first list just like normal men and brethren. List 1, I did not see my name. List 2, I did not see my name. List 3, 4. We started doing prayer work, my friend and I. Oh God, things have made me pray in this life. We'll do prayer work from, I don't know how to describe, Shagam and Ikene. Oh God, every morning we're declaring, commanding, possessing the land of Ikene. And then every other person it now became who knew who. So they'll ask you, okay, you want to study medicine, will you donate gates to the medical school? Will your parents donate this? And unfortunately, I didn't have parents who had anything to donate. If you could donate, some form of indirect bribe. Yes, if you could donate, we're going to, or if you have a parent working in the university, something, they give you preference. But my mom was also working in the hospital management board. So I had men and brethren, I did not get the admission. I had left microbiology, First semester was gone,
Wow.
and I was not in school. I was in med school, writing in courses, slamming and slashing. And after first semester, what is it called? I did not see many. I told myself, wait, ha. And the second semester in microbiology was IT. I just told myself, she, ha. Swallow your pride. I called my friend that, babe, my friend, she's a doctor now. Now let's go back and do IT. Worst case, we'll have extra semester and then we'll still graduate. So we decided that we're going to go for IT. This was even the other painful part. So I felt like at least if we want to go back and face the shame together, I had somebody.
You have somebody with you.
2 weeks to end of IT, she just called me, babes. She has gotten, her name came out. Ha.
Hey!
My joy and my sadness together knew no bounds.
Wow.
I was happy that eventually she got the admission, and then it now became.
Like,
So I just started texting all my friends. I'm no longer in med school. Play, yada yada yada. And that was a breaking period for me. I got back to school and I was faced with, my HOD said it was an extra year. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then what was painful was whether I heard God, whether I heard myself. Actually, I heard something.
There was a hearing.
There was a hearing. So it was painful, like, God, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And everything about my life was on standstill. And you know, the HOD then knew my parents, just casual. So I just went to greet him like, this is this. He said, no, it's an extra year. And for the first time in my life, I didn't cry. I'm like, okay. Let's not shall not be that they said that you are getting extra year, you will not cry. So I was forcing myself to cry. I just told God that, you know what, just hold your hold and I will still be praying so that when rapture happen, I'll not go to hellfire.
Oh my God.
But just to be honest though, like, so when I want to sleep in it, I'm like, rapture can help me in my sleep. Or I'll say, God, please forgive me all my sins. And I'll sleep. And the next day, God, just keep you off. And you know, I just went through the motions and I got back, people were mocking me.
Wow.
Like, and the people that mocked me the most were believers. Like all this useless faith. There was a girl that literally told me to my face. I still remember her name, Sepa, forgive me, don't worry. Say all these people, I know that time you were bubbling with faith, you wanted to do things for God. I just sat and said, you see all these things, and you know, but as God will have it, I just went back to my HOD and said, sir, I did my IT, so I don't think I'm supposed to have an extra year.
Yeah.
Let's be an extra semester. Yeah, no, okay. Go ahead, extra semester. As I stepped out of his office and I came back and I said, sir, can I write the 2 exams together? And the bulk of 300 level courses were in first semester. Like everything of 300 level was in first semester. Second semester was just like that. And I said, you mean you want to write 400 level and 300 level courses together and blah blah blah? I said, yes, okay. If you say you can do it, then go ahead. That was like the first miracle. That's not like the first time I'll experience a miracle in my academics, but that was like the first miracle that I would call this is a miracle. And then I'll cut back in case you still want to ask other questions. I didn't even attend 300 level lectures at all, and in some of the courses I topped. Like, I didn't attend the lectures, nothing, and the results came out. My name was like number one here, number one. And people were like, okay, where is this? It's not Brainy, it's Jesus.
Jesus and Brainy.
Yes, Jesus and Brainy. Like, who is this girl? Who is this Seyi girl? Who is this? My man are like, people don't know anything. That success you are seeing has gone through fire. But anyways, here we are. Sticking out with a good grade. Yes. So it was an interruption.
Wow. That's like a major interruption. That's like stoppage. But okay, so I think we're going to stop here. We've heard the gist. We'll stop part 1 here, and then come to part 2. And in part 2, we're going to find out like how to handle it, how to feel. You talked about not praying anymore and all of that, and what you learned in that journey. But before we stop and go to part 2, just say something to somebody that thinks that they are the only ones going through interruptions in life? Just show something brief to somebody on that point.
My dear, I'm not the only one. Let me look you face to face. My sister, my brother, you're not alone. At some point, interruptions will come. Sometimes they are divine. Sometimes interruptions is not from God. Sometimes it's our personal mistakes. But just know that every time, there's an interruption, you're not alone. And sometimes most interruptions redirect our lives and redirect our focus. They force us to depend on God. You know, you begin to see aspects of your life that you didn't know was there. There are some strength and resilience that you wouldn't know was there in you. You begin to discover another part, another side of God. So just hang on, hold on. God is with you. He's not leaving you. Peace out.
Thank you. So this is not the end. Remember, there's still part 2 because she'll still share some juicy parts of being interrupted and how to handle it. Thank you guys for joining us. See you in part 2. Bye.